What's up, guys? Welcome back to Let's Play Basara 2 Heroes! Alright, Azai is going to be going after Nobunaga in an attempt to strike his revenge, although we'll see how successful he actually is. So, Azai is now wearing a different outfit in this episode. This is the same level we had to do as Oichi early on in her campaign, so this is essentially the exact same level when it was in Oichi's hero story, so hopefully Azai will not meet his end in this one, though. Hopefully things will happen differently now with the control of the player. Nobunaga's forces are pretty fierce, and they'll have the black armor, they're all darkness elemental. Luckily, Azai is a warrior of light and a champion of justice, as he is emphasized numerous times. So, since the previous video, I went to Anime Expo in Los Angeles, California, and I had never been before. I've been to numerous anime conventions over the last 10 years, but I've never been to AX, and it was a very, very, very expensive con. If you guys want to know some of the fine details of what happened and follow my story, you can watch the AX video that should be up by the time this video is up. I lost some of the copyright to the music I put in there, so I had to do some modifications, but other than that, it's up, and you guys can see my adventures. There was not a single Basara cosplayer I saw there, unfortunately. And as far as Basara merchandise goes, I did find some art books for Basara, including a Basara 4 art book that I really wanted because it's out of print, but I ended up settling for something else instead. But I'll try to find it online eventually. So, but I did during the Fate group. I did make friends with someone who was cosplaying Robin Hood from Extra, and he's a Basara fan, a big Sengoku fan as well. We were talking about drifters, so shoutouts to you, shoutouts to Hunter, and me and him were talking about Basara, and I told him about my Kojiro cosplay and all that. So I got to meet some Basara fans out there. But interestingly enough, in Little Tokyo in downtown LA, there is like a Japanese antique store almost. They had a lot of books. That's where I found the book Shogun, which is about the life of Tokugawa Ieyasu and his unification of Japan after the Sengoku era. And they also had these emblems. I'm not sure if they were made of, if they were like glass or if they were made of some kind of metal, but they were emblems for all of the daimos and warlords from the Sengoku era. So we have the Azai one, we have the Date one, all of them. And I was like, oh man, I really would love to get some of these, but I don't know what I would do with them or where I'd put them and how much they would cost. But they were really cool. I definitely wouldn't mind getting like the Date one, the Tokugawa one, stuff like that. They had pretty much all of them. So, and Azai's is pretty iconic as well. So I definitely saw that there. So pretty cool. If any of you watching are in California and you're close to LA and you want to check out Little Tokyo, I highly recommend it. There's also a really, really awesome anime store in there called Anime Jungle, which has 3 separate storefronts: one for model kits, one for other anime goods, one for trading card games. And the one that had model kits in it had the Revoltech Basara figure for Mitsunari from 3, so that was pretty cool. So anyway, getting back to the game itself. So now we're playing with fire. We're playing with my favorite setup for Azai, which is he has his whole Power Rangers "It's Morphin' Time" ability where he turns his sword into a lightsaber. And so there's a little bit of charge time on that, similar to Masamune's War Dance. Or there was another similar ability we did like this with a different character. I can't remember who it was that we had to do that for. Maybe you guys will remember. But yeah, there was another character we had to stop and cast a buff essentially on our weapon before going into battle. Who was that, I wonder? Somebody I played as recently. Anyway, maybe it was... Oh, I think it was Kojiro with the where he slams his sword into the ground and starts headbutting things. But yeah, the lightsaber is pretty powerful, as you'd imagine. And his other ability where you see that emblem flash on that kanji flash on the screen there, and he slashes through it, is a good way to cut through large groups of enemies, and it does a lot of damage as well. So it just makes Azai's movement that much better, and makes him pretty fluent. I really do like how Azai behaves with this setup. It's by far my favorite setup for him. you gotta stop and cast the lightsaber every once in a while, just like we had to do with Masamune's War Dance. I wish I knew what some of these abilities were called so I could describe them a little bit more accurately. But obviously, unless I can read Japanese, I really don't know what they're called. At least with Masamune's abilities, it was funny that he was the first character we played as in the very first game, because all of his are in English because of Masamune's known English habit that he has all throughout the series, which is pretty funny to hear in the anime, especially when he will just randomly add a English phrase to his dialogue. It's usually like "you see" or something like that he says. But anyway, Masamune is nowhere to be found in this fight. We're mainly just dealing with Nobunaga's forces. I really do like this alternate outfit for Azai. It's probably my favorite outfit for him as well. So I'm definitely having a good time playing as him right now. More so than I did earlier. He plays okay. He's just not my favorite character. There's really nothing overtly wrong with him. He's pretty average. He does have a pretty short reach with his sword. His sword is a little bit more Western style than a katana if you look at it, although I'm sure there's a particular type of sword that it's supposed to be. But yeah, he does sort of have a little bit more Western fighting style with his sword and buckler combination there. It's not something you typically saw with Japanese warriors. Oh great, it's that snake, Akashi Mitsuhide. So we're going to use our Morphin time again and go after him. So if we have the sword powered up, we should be able to deal some really good damage to him, assuming he's not blocking like that. But Akachi Mitsuhide is pretty fierce, as we've shown off before. He can get some nasty hits on you when you least expect it, and then on top of that, he has that poison ability as well, where he can drain health from you, and he also has the orbs that protect him from damage. But it looks like they may have made him weak for this fight because he's just a mini-boss and not the main boss of the stage. He's going to use his drive against us, but we're going to counter that with our own and show him who's boss. So that's it for him. I don't know if I mentioned this or not in the Let's Play yet, but I know I commented saying that I was going to have a panel for Anime Week in Atlanta about the Sengoku era and all its many adaptations, and how Japan really feels about this war, and why they adapt the story the way that they do. Why do they continue to make Nobunaga the ultimate villain in all these fictional works, whether it be Basara or Samurai Warriors or Onimusha or any of these various games, anime, books, anything. Why they depict that war the way that they do, and how does it correlate to actual history and things like that. But the panel got denied, unfortunately, so I'm going to try again for a smaller con where there's less competition, and hopefully I'll have something like that. But when it comes to doing, let me know if you guys have any good research, anything I can cite, any kind of sources I can cite for research on that. We really dealt a crap ton of damage to Nobunaga there. He's no match for us with the lightsaber. But yeah, let me know what you guys find. I'm definitely going to read that book, Shogun, about Ieyasu, though, and I think there's a few other books about them that I can read.
Nagamasa.